Flags, banners and posters of the Russian President Vladimir Putin on the streets of North Korean capital of Pyongyang said it all. As the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un hugged Putin, it spoke in volume of the shared values and friendship between both nations. And their bond, as Putin called it, their fight against the imperialist, hegemonistic policies of the US and its satellites. Putin, though isolated by the West, got a rapturous welcome in Pyongyang as children waved balloons and flags and inspected guard of honor. But what sealed their bond and gave chills to the West and its allies was a NATO-like comprehensive partnership agreement. This pact has a clause similar to that of NATO's Article 5, and according to Putin, there is a provision for mutual assistance in the event of an aggression.
The comprehensive partnership agreement signed today includes, among other, mutual assistance in the event of aggression against one of the parties to this agreement. I have no doubt that this powerful treaty signed between our two countries will be very constructive, prospective, strictly peace-loving and defensive, which will be a driving force to accelerate the creation of a new multinational world free from domination, subjugation, hegemony and unilateral authority.
This visit of Putin to North Korea comes days after the G7 summit and also after the Allied forces in Russia's absence gathered to commemorate D-Day event in France. Putin thanked Kim for his unrelenting support for war against Ukraine.
We highly appreciate our consistent and unchanging support of the Russian policies, including the Ukrainian direction, meaning our fight against the imperialist hegemonistic policies of the US and its satellites against the Russian Federation.
The visit is also seen to ramp up defense manufacturing in North Korea, as both countries had a mutual defense pledge. The United States and its allies fear that Russia could provide aid for North Korea's missile and nuclear programs, which are banned by UN Security Council resolutions, and have accused Pyongyang of providing ballistic missiles and artillery shells that Russia has used in its war in Ukraine.
I draw attention to the statements by the United States and other NATO countries about the delivery of long-range precision weapons, F-16 aircraft and other high-tech weapons and equipments for strikes on Russian territory. That blatantly violates the international responsibilities that the Western countries took.
North Korea has provided an enormous amount of ammunition. We see how they're loading on containers with ammunition on trains in North Korea, and they go all the way across the border between North Korea and Russia. There's a small border by the Pacific coast, and the trains go all the way to the front line, and they unload, and this ammunition goes straight to the front, attacking also Ukrainians. So, of course, in return, Russia's giving something to North Korea.
Though Russia had once backed UN sanctions against North Korea that prevented it from exporting weapons, but in March, Russia, being a permanent member of the UN Security Council, backed to end the mandate of a panel monitoring North Korean sanctions violations. Following the visit, the US and South Korean air forces held air drills on Thursday over South Korea. US AC-130J and South Korean KF-16 jet fighters conducted live fire drills. Putin also visited Hanoi and met Vietnamese President To Lam and stressed the need to boost ties with Russia.